Hi, I'm Josephine. Today I'm going to tell you my story. But before I continue, please share and subscribe to hear more stories like this. Derek, honey, you sure you don't want to use the GPS? I asked, watching my husband fumble with the paper map spread across his lap. Joe, I've told you 100 times. I don't need technology to find my way around, Derek replied with that smug smile I once found endearing. My internal compass is better than any satellite. Megan caught my eye in the rearview mirror and rolled her eyes dramatically. The internal compass that got us lost 3 times on the way to Tyler's parents' house last Christmas? That wasn't my fault, Derek protested. The roads were covered in snow. Tyler laughed from the driver's seat. Dude, it was barely an inch. This was the 4th annual camping trip with our closest friends, and Derek's directional challenges had become something of a running joke. My husband wasn't just directionally challenged, he was stubbornly so. He refused to use GPS, insisted on navigating with paper maps, and somehow always managed to lead us miles off course. Remember when he tried to find that new restaurant downtown? Megan giggled. We ended up in the next county. You guys are exaggerating, Derek muttered, folding his map with unnecessary force. I patted his knee. We tease because we love you, honey. But the truth was, Derek's cluelessness extended beyond navigation. He forgot birthdays, missed appointments, and regularly put red socks in with the white laundry. After 5 years of marriage, his absent-mindedness was wearing thin. When we arrived at the campsite, Megan pulled me aside while the guys unloaded the car. I have the most hilarious idea, she whispered, her eyes gleaming with mischief. Why do I already feel nervous? I asked, recognizing that look. You know how Derek always wanders off on these trips? What if we let him go on his little nature walk tomorrow, then pack up and drive a mile down the road? Just for an hour or so? Megan, that's terrible, I exclaimed, but couldn't help laughing. Come on, Joe. We'll just move to the next campsite. He'll walk back, be confused for 5 minutes, then we'll all have an amazing story to tell for years. I don't know. Tyler thinks it's hilarious, and honestly, it might teach Derek to pay more attention to his surroundings for once. I shouldn't have agreed, but after 5 years of picking up Derek's slack, the idea of a harmless prank seemed cathartic. Fine, but just a mile away and only for an hour. The next morning went according to plan. Derek announced his intention to commune with nature after breakfast. Don't get lost out there, compass man, Tyler teased. Derek tapped his temple. Mental mapping, my friend. I'll be back in an hour. As soon as he disappeared down the trail, we sprang into action. This is so mean, I laughed as we hastily packed the tents. It's just a joke, Megan reassured me. Remember when he forgot your anniversary and tried to convince you it was the next week? 20 minutes later, we were settled at a new campsite a mile north. I checked my watch nervously. He should be back at the original spot by now, I said. Probably standing there scratching his head, Tyler laughed. I wish I could see his face. Let's give him another half hour to figure it out, Megan suggested. But 1 hour turned into 2. My amusement faded to worry. Guys, something's wrong. He should have found us by now. Maybe he went the wrong way, Tyler suggested. You know Derek. I'm calling him, I decided, pulling out my phone. No signal. Let's drive back, Megan said, her voice tinged with concern. When we returned to our original campsite, there was no sign of Derek. Derek! I called, my voice echoing through the trees. No answer. This isn't funny anymore, I whispered. We spent the next 3 hours searching the surrounding woods before the park ranger called in a proper search party. By nightfall, I was frantic. This is all my fault, I sobbed as we gave our statements to the park authorities. Mrs. Wilson, we'll find your husband, the head ranger assured me. People get lost in these woods all the time. You don't understand. He wouldn't be lost if we hadn't moved our campsite as a stupid joke. The ranger's expression hardened slightly, but he remained professional. We'll continue the search at first light. That night was the longest of my life. I called my sister Natalie, who drove 3 hours to be with me. How could you go along with something so childish? She asked when I explained what happened. I don't know, Nat. I've been so frustrated with him lately. Frustrated enough to abandon him in the wilderness? Her words stung because they were true. Had I really become so callous? The next morning, as the search teams were organizing, my phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Joe, it's me. Derek's voice was cold in a way I'd never heard before. Derek, oh my God, where are you? Are you okay? I'm at a gas station about 10 miles east of the campsite. Someone gave me a ride. Relief washed over me. Thank God. We've been so worried. Have you? He cut me off. Is that why you left me stranded in the woods? Because you were worried? Derek, I'm so sorry. It was supposed to be a joke. I know exactly what it was. I heard you and Megan planning it. My blood ran cold. You... what? I was coming back to get my water bottle when I overheard you two laughing about how funny it would be to leave me stranded. Derek, please, save it. I'm going home. You can find your own way back. The line went dead. When I got home the next day, Derek was eerily calm. I think we need to talk about what happened, I said cautiously. Nothing to talk about, he replied, not looking up from his laptop. It was just a joke, right? It was stupid and mean, and I'm truly sorry. Forget it. But things didn't go back to normal. Derek became distant, spending late nights at the office. When my sister invited us to dinner 3 weeks later, he agreed with unusual enthusiasm. You two seem tense, Natalie observed as we helped her in the kitchen. Has he forgiven you? He says he has, but something's off. He's never at home anymore, and when he is, he barely speaks to me. Marriage takes work, Joe. You need to make this right. I'm trying, but... Fascinating business model, Marcus. Derek's voice carried from the dining room, where he was chatting with Natalie's new boyfriend. At dinner, Derek was charming and attentive to everyone except me. So, Marcus, Natalie tells me you're in investment banking? I asked, trying to join the conversation. Asset management, Marcus corrected. Actually, Derek and I had a great conversation about some opportunities earlier. I looked at Derek in surprise. You did? Marcus has been giving me some excellent advice, Derek said smoothly. Especially about planning for independence. Something in his tone made me uneasy. 2 days later, I came home early from work with a peace offering, tickets to the jazz festival Derek had mentioned wanting to attend. The house was quiet, but Derek's car was in the driveway. I found him in our home office, hurriedly closing browser windows as I entered. Hey, didn't expect you home yet, he said too casually. I wanted to surprise you. I held out the tickets. For this weekend. That's thoughtful, he replied without enthusiasm. But I have plans. What plans? Just plans, Joe. Do I need to clear my schedule with you now? Of course not. I just thought... I need to finish something here, he interrupted, effectively dismissing me. That night, I noticed Derek's phone lighting up with notifications. When he went to shower, I did something I'd never done before. I checked his phone. There was a text from Marcus. All set for Friday. She won't know what hit her. My stomach clenched. What were they planning? The next day, I called Megan in tears. I think Derek's having an affair, I confided. What? No way, Megan protested. Derek's clueless, but he's not a cheater. He's never home, he's secretive, and I found suspicious texts. From a woman? No, from Natalie's boyfriend, Marcus. But they mentioned her. What if they're talking about another woman? That's thin, Joe. Maybe you're just feeling guilty about the camping trip. Maybe, I conceded. But something's definitely wrong. That Friday, I told Derek I was having dinner with Megan, but instead parked down the street and watched our house. Sure enough, Marcus arrived 30 minutes later. I waited until they both left in Marcus's car, then followed at a distance. They drove to an upscale restaurant downtown where they met Natalie. My sister? What was going on? I waited in my car until they emerged 2 hours later, then followed them to a law office building that should have been closed at 8 p.m. They entered using a key card. Monday morning, I called in sick to work and drove to Marcus's investment firm. The receptionist was young and friendly. "I'm here to surprise my husband," I explained. "He's meeting with Marcus Wilson?" She checked her computer. "I don't see any appointments with Mr. Wilson today." "Oh, they might be having lunch. My husband, Derek Preston? They've been meeting regularly." She frowned slightly. "I'm sorry, but Mr. Wilson hasn't been in the office for 2 weeks. He's been overseeing our new Dallas branch." "Dallas?" Marcus had been at dinner with Derek and Natalie just 3 days ago. I drove straight to Natalie's apartment. "We need to talk," I said when she answered the door. "I'm actually heading out now, Nat." I pushed past her into the apartment. "What's going on with you, Derek and Marcus?" Her face fell. "He told me you might come asking questions." "Who? Derek or Marcus?" "Joe, sit down." "I don't want to sit down. I want to know why my husband is sneaking around with your boyfriend, who apparently doesn't even work where he claims to." Natalie sighed. "Marcus doesn't work at the investment firm anymore. He's a lawyer now." "A lawyer? What are you talking about?" "Derek hired him after the camping incident. He's been planning to divorce you." The words hit me like a physical blow. Divorce? Over a stupid prank? "It wasn't just the prank, Joe. That was the last straw. Derek's been documenting your behavior for months. The constant criticism, the public humiliation, how you and your friends mock him. That's ridiculous. We tease each other. It's how our relationship works." "Is it? Or is that just what you've told yourself?" Natalie's voice was gentle but firm. "Joe, I love you, but the way you talk about Derek sometimes, it's not kind." "So you've been helping him divorce me?" I felt betrayed from all sides. "I've been trying to mediate, to help you both find a solution. By going behind my back?" He was afraid if he confronted you directly, you'd manipulate the situation. "The night you followed them? They were meeting with a mediator I recommended, trying to find a less adversarial approach." I drove home in a daze. Derek was home, calmly making dinner as if nothing was wrong. "How was your day?" he asked pleasantly. "Drop the act," I snapped. "I know you're planning to divorce me." His face hardened. "Who told you?" "Natalie? Does it matter? How could you do this instead of just talking to me? Like you talked to me before abandoning me in the woods?" He set down the knife he'd been using to chop vegetables. "That day showed me who you really are, Joe. Not just that you'd leave me stranded as a joke, but that you'd been mocking me behind my back for years." "That's not fair. We tease each other." "No, you tease me. And I always laughed it off because I thought that's what partners do. They accept each other's flaws. But after hearing you and Megan laughing about how pathetic I am, I realized this isn't a partnership. One stupid mistake." "It wasn't one mistake." Derek's voice rose. "It was the culmination of a pattern. Do you have any idea how it feels to hear your wife call you clueless to her friends? To realize the person who's supposed to have your back is the one leading the charge to mock you?" I felt sick. Had I really been that cruel? "I've already moved most of my things to a new apartment," he continued more calmly. "The divorce papers are on the coffee table. I'm not looking to punish you, Joe. I just want out. Derek, please, we can fix this. There's nothing to fix. You showed me who you are, and I believe you." 2 months later, the divorce was finalized. Derek got the house and the settlement. Turns out he'd been the one making most of the payments while I'd been spending my income on luxury items. I was forced to move into a small apartment I could barely afford. Megan and Tyler took Derek's side, surprisingly. "What you guys did was cruel," Tyler told me over the phone. "And honestly, Joe, the way you talked about Derek when he wasn't around, it wasn't right." I lost not just my husband, but my closest friends. Even Natalie kept her distance, though she checked in occasionally. The final blow came when I ran into Derek and his new girlfriend at a restaurant 6 months later. She was laughing at something he said, looking at him with genuine affection, not the condescending amusement I'd shown. "Josephine." He acknowledged me with a nod. "Derek," I replied, struggling to maintain composure. "You look well." "I am well. This is Alicia." She smiled warmly. "Nice to meet you." Later, I overheard them at the bar. Was that awkward? Alicia asked him. No, Derek replied with confidence I'd never seen in him before. That chapter of my life is closed. She seemed sad. Sometimes people don't realize what they have until it's gone. As I slipped out of the restaurant, I realized the truth. I had been the toxic one all along. My clueless husband had finally found his way, right out of my life. So I have to ask, have you ever realized too late that you were the problem in a relationship, not the other person? What would you do differently if you could go back in time?